In this story, it shows multiple problems that Korean immigrants had to go through. These events happened through the daughter of the Korean family named Youngju. It shows the problems that many were going through at the time, like the difficulties of understanding a new language. It's also telling the issues that immigrant families had in their everyday lives with their new changes. It's mostly talking about Appa fathers and would treat their ummas, mothers, and their own children. The family is shown as a poor family that is suffering from many problems and school problems. What you'll be shown is that, oddly enough, many people's problems can be related to this book. Since Koreans have a different style of living, the challenge of their locations was known. The places to live and the places to work were much different from America. The lifestyle change and leaving a family left many of the Korean family in depression. That could explain why, with Appa, and how he mostly stayed home drinking beer and watching TV. Page 99. When his own mother dies and he gets scolded for drinking before work. Leaving things that they truly love, it was hard because of the fact that seeing them was pretty much impossible. One issue with being money saved up for the trip, and two being the fact that the work had them overworked. With Appa leaving the country, it was stated that Appa, she works 3 jobs back to back. Page 140. So there's really no way for them to go. Many have gone through the problems of work schedules because they just have less time to do what they think is right for them. What we are shown multiple times during Step from Heaven is of the Appa hurting his family in some sort of way, sometimes through verbal attack or most of the time through physical contact. The story just makes you seem like an abuser who just treats his family and others like they're especially women. He even tried to kill his wife, and it was only stopped because of Youngju calling 911 and saying, "My father is killing my mother." Page 139. Due to the family not being able to protect themselves, they end up getting more trouble because of what he does and how he treats women. He is also able to ban you from seeing her best friend, and he smacks her down to the carpet and says, "Don't get up until you know how to be a Korean girl again." Page 110. He's not the only one who has done this, because this is an example of an abusive relationship. They do the right thing and give him the boot and let him leave his family alone and move away and stay there from now on. The problem most of the time brought by many immigrants, not just Korean, are learning new languages. This is the problem because you will need to learn it fast, since there are not many other people who have learned it quick for their children. Some just speak English in other places, but in other places at home they just end up speaking their native language. It's important, since you ask, why do we move to America if I am only to speak English at school? Page 53. Since she's obviously confused about it. It's mostly because her family's hard understanding of the English language, so they prefer to stick with Korean. That's why. Then why did the mother take a job where she was required to speak English to communicate? That's weird, because she said earlier in the story that she had to teach them and Ohama what she learned. Page 28. So her father must have decided that you need knowing English, but at school and work you do. It's hard to think that not only Korean immigrants have these problems, but also a lot of other types of immigrants would have similar problems, like how parents end up hurting them or break their spirits in some kind of way. Also, how immigrants were poor and ended up being overworked to the point of breaking. It addressed the fact of environment change and how they could affect an immigrant, but with the changes of location and languages. It shows the changes in lifestyles that an immigrant will have to deal with in a household and job. Though the most important thing that addresses, which helps the story make more likely to happen in real life, is their effects on actual human beings and actual foreign immigrants.
Musa, did you ever send...
No, I just finished.